Now to tonight's I-Team report. He ran over his friend with a truck and left the scene of the accident. And then police found him at a bar 1 block away. So why wasn't the driver charged here or even tested for alcohol? That's what the accident victim wants to know. So he called the I-Team's Chris Glorioso to get answers.
911, where's your emergency?
It was a bone-crushing accident 2 years ago.
Are you got an ambulance on the way? Yes, we got an ambulance on the way.
Then, 26-year-old David Turan was in agony on the pavement.
Transporting one to Hackensack Medical Center.
He had a shattered pelvis, a lacerated bladder, and at the hospital he needed a tube to breathe.
I see the wheels coming, and then when my head hit the pavement, I blacked out.
The man who ran him over was Teaneck Public Works employee Mike Hennig. Both David Turan and another friend, Keith Murphy, were passengers in Hennig's pickup truck, and both have filed sworn depositions stating the trio had been bar hopping, drinking, even doing shots at a strip club. Despite that, Hennig was at the wheel when both his passengers suddenly got out of the truck. It is in dispute whether the vehicle was already moving when Turan opened the door, but this is the crosswalk where he was essentially flattened by truck tires.
I got 4 screws in my right leg, titanium rod from my knee to my hip, and 2 screws in my pelvis.
Now, 2 years after the near-fatal accident, David Turan wants to know why Teaneck police never charged the driver who hit him with DWI. Police records obtained in a civil lawsuit against Mike Hennig show he drove away from the accident scene and ended up in this bar. But he was never given an alcohol test, and he was never charged with leaving the scene.
So why did he leave?
I don't know. I don't know at all.
Well, he's going to get charged with leaving the scene of an accident.
Yeah.
On that phone recording, Teaneck cops clearly say the driver will be charged with leaving the scene of an accident, a felony. But Mike Hennig only got a 2-point careless driving ticket.
I would classify it as a case of grave concern.
Brian Griffin is a former assistant DA who has prosecuted vehicular crimes in New York. He says in a case like this, it would be highly unusual for police not to test a driver for alcohol.
On the radio transmissions that are recorded, what you hear is you tend to hear the police making a determination that there's enough to charge leaving the scene of an accident, right? So what overcame that?
According to the police report, Hennig said he didn't realize his passenger was injured until police approached him inside the cottage bar. Instead of giving him a breathalyzer test, they let him drive his truck to the hospital, where David Turan's father says he saw him.
He was at the emergency room. He approached me. Mike Hennig approached me. He was drunk.
Contacted by the I-Team, Teaneck Police Chief Robert Wilson said, if there are indications someone is intoxicated, obviously we should act on that. But I don't know that was the case.
What does it say to you that they found this driver at a bar and they didn't give him a breathalyzer test?
That apparently he had some connection with the Teaneck Police Department and they wanted to help their buddy out.
Both Mike Hennig and Keith Murphy have connections to Bergen County law enforcement. Hennig works for the Teaneck DPW, where police cars are serviced. Murphy's father is a retired Teaneck police officer. On the night of the accident, you can hear Teaneck police discussing their relationship.
Anybody know Mike's name from DPW?
Mike? What's that from Hillside? Is that guy?
Is it the guy from Hillside? Hangs around Murphy's kids?
Contacted at his home, Keith Murphy's father said he did not attempt to influence this accident investigation. Meanwhile, Mike Hennig declined comment for our story. He did settle a civil lawsuit related to the accident for $99,000. After calls from the I-Team, a Teaneck Police Internal Affairs investigator is now looking into this case. Reporting from the newsroom, Chris Glorioso, News 4 New York.